All right, thanks for joining me again. This is Chad Morrison with another Country Boy Bible thought. This thought today, I guess, is a little bit more me as far as my thoughts. Um, if you look behind me, you'll see gun cabinet that I built with my own two hands, and God gave me the wisdom and the ability to do that, and thank Him. I thank Him for that. You'll see an American flag back there, and I'm very, very thankful and appreciative of my country, my home. I'm very thankful, and I recognize what it took, what it costed to pay for this liberty that you and I have. And I'm very thankful for our military, those who have served and died, those who continue to serve, and those who will serve our country. I'm very thankful. Thank you very much for that. I'm thankful also for police officers, our firemen and EMS. They all have a service that they give for our country and for the public, and we should lift them up. Are they all perfect? Nope, none of us are. Only one was ever perfect. That doesn't mean that the group as a whole is not good. They are. There's a bad apple in every bunch. You get rid of the bad apple and you keep eating. You keep moving. You keep working. So today I want to bring a thought. I'm a little frustrated, and I think about this thought often, but I don't say anything. Today I'm going to say it. Our country is very divided, and they would say, well, you can't mix church and state. Well, my opinion is the state should stay out of the church's business, because if the church is where it needs to be with God, everything else will work fine. And if it's not, then it's not a church to begin with. If you put God first in the family, a strong Christian family makes strong countries. This is our country. I'm very thankful for our country. So the thought today is our duty to our country as Christians. And in 1 Timothy 2, 1 and 2, we read where Timothy is discussing the fact that it's our duty to lift up our leaders in prayer. We don't have to like them. We don't have to agree with everything they do. And let me say, I'm pretty satisfied with our president. If I had the opportunity to meet President Trump, I'd be honored. I'd say thank you. Thank you for making it a little easier for Christians to stand up and say, I'm a Christian, and I thank God for it. I'm thankful for what He is doing. Does that mean I agree with everything that He's doing? No. We're not going to agree with everything that everybody does, because we have our own opinions. And we have a right to be opinionated. But for the most part, I think he's doing a right good job. And you should too. Now, 1 Timothy 2 says to pray for our leaders, to lift them up, to make prayer and fasting, to encourage. It's our duty to lift them up in prayer. It's our duty to fast, pray for our country and for our leaders, not just our president, not just our House of Representatives or our Congress, but even down to our local county and our local town meetings. We should be lifting up our leaders in prayer. Romans 13 talks about how we are in subjection to those who are in authority over us. And today's society seems to think like, well, honestly, they think like they did back in the dispensation of consciousness, which was from the time that sin was entered into man, Adam and Eve, up until Moses, when the law was given of God. Men judged based on what they felt was right. There was no such thing as morality. There was no such thing as ethics or law. No such thing as values. Men judged as they saw fit. People done whatever they wanted to do, and it was right in their eyes. Why? Because there wasn't no law to say different. But today we have law. Today we understand, we know what ethics, what values, and what morals are. Now, some of these younger generations have a problem with it because it restricts them, because it says I can't do what I want to do. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. It's pretty obvious. I mean, to me anyways. But we're under subjection to our laws. As much as I love to be able to take my kids down to the farm and teach them how to properly use a firearm, how to hunt, as much as I enjoy going down and just shooting some skeet, target practicing, by the way, it's important that I and every person who handles and has guns, our first off should be teaching our young people to respect our elders, to respect our parents, to respect our neighbors, to respect life. Come on now, you know I'm right there. When people respect each other and they respect life, they're less likely to do something stupid with a gun. We teach our children in the country how to use guns, but we also teach them how to respect them and to respect those around them. That's why we don't see a lot of violence versus in cities. I'd love to be able to go in cities and put together a program where I could teach young people how to safely use guns, but even more, to teach them about Jesus Christ and about the Ten Commandments, because the Ten Commandments tells us that we should love our neighbors as ourselves. That's one of the commandments of Jesus Christ. Ten Commandments, one of them says to honor thy father and mother. It goes further than that. Honor your grandparents. Honor your teachers. Honor your government. They're under our rule, or we're under their rule. We don't have to agree with them. We don't have to like everything they do. But they're doing what they feel is right. And if we don't like it, well, then we have the right in a few years to vote in someone else or run for office. Maybe you can do a better job. I'm not going to try it anymore. But we need to understand that as Christians, it's our number one priority to pray for our leaders. God help them. God, would you keep peace in our land? Bring our children home safe from the war. Bring our police officers home nightly. Yeah, you don't have to agree with the Ten Commandments, but I think they should be in every police station, every courthouse, every prison, every school, and every church. You don't have to agree with that, but when people live by the Ten Commandments, it seems like there's a whole lot more peace in the world. Now, under subjection, I'm going to try to quickly go through this. Subjection isn't anything that any one of us like. Subjection isn't anything that we want. We don't want to be held back or held down. But even though I teach my children how to hunt and fish, and I rely on a gun to bring some deer meat home or bring home whatever I decide I'm hunting for, is important to me. It's important that I teach that. And if they passed a law that said, we're taking your guns away, I fight tooth and nail to keep them. But as much as I want to keep them, if they pass that law, I don't have a choice. I have to give them up. Why? Because it's the law. Do I like it? Nope. But it's still the law. as American citizens, we're under subjection to the law. Not one law, all of them. Whether you like them or not, they're still law. It's not like, well, I'm going to tell a lie. It's a white lie to keep them safe. No. A lie is a lie. There's no black lie, white lie, red lie. It's a lie. A lie is a sin. In the same way that God says there's no such thing as a little sin or a big sin. It's just simply flat across the board, it's a sin. In that same thought, law is law. There's not one law that says, well, I don't really have to agree with that one. It's the law. Every law matters. If one law doesn't matter, none of them matter. We have to obey the law. We're under subjection to the law. You don't have to like it. You don't like it? Get voted in or put together a bill that changes the law. But if it's law, then you got to obey it, just like I do. We're under subjection. As Christians, we recognize that. We don't have to like everything that goes on. But it's important that we lift up our government in prayer. It's important that we lift up our police officers, our soldiers, our firemen, our EMS, all of them. We should be lifting each one of us up in prayer. I pray for all those above me, and I pray for my friends and my family and my church. You should be too. You may not agree with everything that I say here. That doesn't mean I'm wrong. It's my opinion. And this is the way I see the Bible. I recognize 1 Timothy 2 and 1 and 2, and I ask you to read them. I recognize Romans 13, 1 through around 14. Quickly, the Hebrew children, 3 Hebrew children, were under enslavement, I believe, to Persia, and they knew it was against God's rules or God's law to worship any other god. And the king had decided he was going to build this great big statue, and he wanted the whole world that they knew to worship that statue as a god. And those 3 Hebrew children or men wouldn't bow down, they wouldn't worship. And they said, well, we're going to throw you into a fiery furnace. Well, Jesus was there waiting on them and helping them. But the moral story is this. The only law that I personally would ever not follow is a law that impedes my ability for worshiping my God. That's it. That's it. My God's more important than anything else. If I lose every gun because of law, then so be it. If I lose my ability to hunt and fish and farm because of law, so be it. But if it comes between God and salvation, I gotta follow God. But there's no laws yet like that. Therefore, every law that's on the books, we're under subjection to. Now, this is a very controversial subject in a lot of ways. And like I say, you don't have to agree with me on it. This is America. You don't have to agree with me on it. That's the great thing about it. I thank God for being an American. Until next time, you can reach me on countryBBT1@gmail.com. I'm not going to argue this. This is my point of view, and that's it. You don't like it, that's fine. Leave me an email. I don't care. If I don't answer you, I'm sure you'll understand why. I'm not going to debate it. I'm not going to argue it. This is my view. This is my standpoint. And this is how I feel. But now, if God's working in your life, if you feel the way that I do, if you see the need of praying more for your country, send me an email. Let me know how your studies are going in the Bible, how God is working in your life. Until next time, see you again soon, good Lord willing.